June 12, 2003. Approximately 3 p.m., a massive white statue appears from the sky in Shinjuku, Tokyo. Shortly thereafter, a red-winged entity falls from the sky. The dragon and giant engage in battle. The principle behind the effects of the attacks are a mystery. A piercing series of sounds are heard across the area. The Japan Self-Defense Force observes the situation and plans countermeasures. An emergency cabinet meeting takes place regarding the situation. Approximately 4 p.m., the giant falls and breaks apart. The composition of the giant is unable to be determined. The substance is similar to sodium chloride, but lacks any manner of mass or weight. It quickly disperses and vanishes from the area. Shortly after the fall of the giant, Bravo 1, callsign Sacrifice, of the Japan Air Self-Defense Force's 6th Air Wing, 303rd Squadron, shoots down the dragon with a missile strike. The body is later recovered from atop Tokyo Tower and taken to a government research facility for testing. This event becomes known as the 612 incident. It results in 56 fatalities, 320 injuries, and an economic cost of over 60 billion yen. A gag order is issued regarding the events of 612, but videos and photos of the incident circulate on the internet soon thereafter. Fears of terrorism, foreign pilots, and other conspiracy theories soon follow the extraordinary events. The world changed after the 612 incident. A disease known as white chlorination syndrome became a major threat to humanity. Since the disease was caused by multidimensional beings coming into our world, no cure was ever found, even after rigorous testing done on the remnants of the dragon and giant. However, their corpses were used for other forms of testing, specifically to make weapons that could combat the monsters that spawned due to white chlorination syndrome. But let's go over a quick timeline of events that happened after the 612 incident. A lot of things happened, but today I will only cover the major events regarding Red Eye and the Legion. In October 2005, an immense wall dubbed the Wall of Jericho was eradicated to seal Shinjuku from the outside world. This was done to suppress the berserking individuals infected with white chlorination syndrome and allow researchers more time to find a cure. For those of you unaware, white chlorination syndrome victims were given two options. The first was a pact from the gods, to either become a mindless soldier for their army, or to die and become a lump of salt. It's unknown how many people chose what option, but to be honest, I feel like a lot of people would rather join the army. The Japanese government was widely criticized for the Wall of Jericho, leading to mass protests in several countries across the globe. In February 2008, the Wall of Jericho was destroyed from within. At the time of the wall's destruction, sounds similar to the ones heard during the 612 incident were heard. A massive number of berserking white creatures peered out from behind the wall. They began slaughtering all humans they came in contact with. The monsters were later dubbed Legion, and they were being led by a creature with red-crimson eyes. It is believed their leader, designated Red Eye, was Caim, the human who rode on the dragon's back to combat the giant during the 612 incident. The Legion possessed intelligence, individuality, and mightier fighting capabilities. Their sizes vary. Several were human-sized and up to topping buildings, and they can sprout multiple limbs to attack humans. More Legion can be conjured to an area by their will, making them one of humanity's toughest adversaries. The origins of Red Eyes actually stems from Drakengard's world. Individuals associated with the Empire and brainwashed by the Watchers exhibit violent, aggressive behaviors and red eyes. In the manga Dragon Shin ni Itaruaka, it is revealed that an intoner is primarily responsible for spreading the disease. It is unknown which intoner was responsible, but I personally believe it was either one or her clone brother. Red eyes are also represented in NieR Automata when androids are infected by the logic virus and when machines are readying their attack. It is also revealed that victims can be easily manipulated to do the bidding of individuals who possess strong enough magic, which leads to the theory that Legion's leader, Red Eye, is Caim. At the start of 2009, after a year of white chlorination syndrome and Legion attacks across Japan, the United States joined to support Japan in efforts to repel the Legion. In April, the United States and Japan considered using nuclear weapons on Shinjuku. The Japanese opinion on dropping the nuke was mixed. but the decision was greatly supported by the international community. August 6, 2009. An atomic bomb was dropped on Shinjuku. The date itself was coincidental, but links to the Hiroshima tragedy were almost immediately brought up by the media. More nukes were dropped later that month on other key areas of dense Legion activity. The majority of Japan was affected by the bombings. All traces of Legion activity in Japan had been eradicated later that year. However, white chlorination syndrome and Legion began appearing worldwide in April 2010, with future research being conducted on the Dragon's corpse 2 months later. Both the Dragon and the Giant proved the existence of multiple origin theory. They both intruded from a parallel world. Research on the intrusion from the other world revealed the presence of particles which should not exist in this universe. These particles found from the remnants of the Giant were labeled meso and the cause of white chlorination syndrome. February 2016. Luciferase, a medical compound which can greatly slow the onset of white chlorination syndrome, was developed. In May, Luciferase was administered to select individuals who soon formed an elite military squad with hopes to stop Legion. Since Luciferase was discovered to be most effective on young patients, children with exemplary physical abilities were given preference for treatment and urged into Legion combating squads. One notable squad was the Hamlin organization, composed mostly of teenagers due to the Luciferase compatibility. Throughout the next few years, the Hamlin organization Crusaders continued to engage in battle across the globe and fight to a near stalemate, with their influence growing higher in countries with great numbers of young potential recruits. Finally, in 2030, 22 years after the rise of Legion in Shinjuku, Red Eye, the leader of Legion, was slain in Jerusalem by the leader of the Hamlin organization's 13th Crusade unit. The commanding officer dealing the final blow was mortally wounded and later succumbed to his injuries. With the defeat of Red Eye, Legion was no longer able to coordinate their attacks. White chlorination syndrome still continued to spread, and with practically zero chances of discovering a cure, the only option to save humanity was Project Gestalt.
As they dance in the merciless sky.